Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine on it.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady. But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time. Another week. N4G Radio. This is episode 701. For May 30th, 2022. On the show this week, it's me, it's Anthony,
Hello.
and we have Drew joining us in a minute because, Drew doesn't realize how Netflix works. And he had to finish an episode of Stranger Things.
Or the whole season. Who knows?
You mean, it's not, is it really a TV show when they're, like, each episode is the length of a movie?
I'd say yes if it wasn't dropped all at the same time. That's kind of.
Well, they dropped 7
Hill.
episodes.
Yeah,
and then
you know
they're
what I mean,
dropping.
though. Like, they're splitting the season into 2 parts, but like,
The second part's only like 2 episodes.
oh, well.
And one of them is 2.5 hours long.
Jesus Christ. Okay, that is just a movie at that point.
Every episode so far is at least an hour and 18 minutes. At least. I mean, come on. In the words of Jimmy, come on.
I've never seen an episode of it, so.
I love the first season. I really did. I feel like I forgot seasons 2 and 3, even though I like a lot of the characters that were introduced in 2 and 3. So far, I'm 3 episodes into season 4, and it's probably the best it's been since season 1. But that's because they kind of focused it. Like there's a main villain and it's a good one. Also, those kids grew the fuck up real fast.
Wow, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much time was supposed to take place, but they really, like, at one point I remember there being, like, a lot of hype for Stranger Things, and there not being a new season of Stranger Things fast enough. Like, it's the same thing, and I don't like the show anymore, partially because the fan base sucks, but it was like Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty started to take off before season, like, I got into it right before, like, it peaked. Like, I wasn't on board with the first season. I never watched it. Somebody started talking about it at work. I watched both the first and second season, and then there was this big gap. And in that time span is when it really grew, and there was nothing. But, like, Rick and Morty's a cartoon show, so we don't visibly see people age. When you're working with kids and you want to do something, like, you have to keep kind of going nonstop.
Yeah.
Unless it's going to be a huge jump in age.
It was, like, they had to write that into the show because it's been 3 years since the last season, and the kids, like, immediately went into high school because, like, it was like, well, they kind of got old. And they look way different than they did.
I'm waiting for it to be done because I dodged Game of Thrones, and I feel like...
I mean, Game of Thrones was so good in its prime, and then it really started to fall off.
It totally could with Stranger Things. I don't trust people to land endings.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't even know how they should end this to make it okay, because it feels like every season is like, oh, that thing we fixed, well, it's back, and like the best part about the first season is that you had no fucking idea what was going on, and then when you found out what was going on, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then now it's just like, oh, that's happening again, okay. I
I
don't know.
don't remember the fucking name of the. Hold on.
I need I need to justify my $25 a month subscription to Netflix. So I gotta watch this. Oh, fucking Netflix is so expensive, man.
Oh, it reminds me, like, on the very base level of I have no idea, what the fuck actually is happening in Stranger Things, because, like, I legitimately just have never seen. I know that there's the Upside Down. I know that there's a creature, at least in the first season, whatever.
There's creature
But
in
it,
every
like,
season.
from the basic aspects of it, I'm like, yeah, it sounds like the Watchers from Dean Koontz.
I mean, you have to understand that Stranger Things is very much a
I understand that, but, like,
yeah.
I know very basic things just from osmosis, like, you know, that you can't escape things. How do I put this? Stop doing that, people. I like, every time something hits, like, critical mass where I can't avoid it, I suddenly don't want to watch it.
You know, I've never seen an
You
episode
know?
of Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
kind
have.
of like... Drew's here, everybody. Hi, Drew.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, we were just making fun of you because you don't know how Netflix works.
No, we already got like an hour in. These episodes are long as shit.
I know. I literally left 8 minutes of one yesterday and came back and finished it later that night. It's crazy how streaming services work.
Dude, fuck you. I'm trying to enjoy a television show with my wife, okay?
I'm giving you a hard time because it's funny.
How far you made it in?
I finished episode 3. I'm on episode 4.
Gotcha. We're about to go into episode 6.
Well, you're almost done. Jesus, are you a psychopath? I saw somebody say yesterday on Twitter, if you finish Stranger Things in a day, you're a psychopath.
Oh, perhaps I am a psychopath.
That's how much time would that be? They're an hour and 20 minutes at least per episode.
Not every one of them. One of them, there's only like 2 episodes are above hour 20.
But all of them are at least an hour and 20 minutes.
Not all of them, no.
I think you're wrong on that. Hold on.
There's some it's like an hour 5.
Where's my info? I need to pull up episodes and info. Episode 1, 78 minutes, 77 minutes. Okay, episode 3 was 64 minutes. That's the only one that's shorter than that. The rest of them are 79, 76, 75, and 98.
Yep.
They're all, except for one, at least an hour and 17 minutes.
So far, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's better than 2 and 3, but those
Yeah.
aren't very good. So, anyway, that's enough Stranger Things discussion, I think.
Yeah.
Because Anthony hasn't even seen it. So.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, I came in at the tail end of it where he said if something is just overly popular, you actively avoid it.
The critical mass, it's not even that I actively avoid it. If I can't choose to disconnect from it, I'm done. The Star Wars, like, as soon as you make it so, like...
I just saw the text.
Oh,
Drew is a
you're welcome.
psychopath.
I am a psychopath.
Oh,
but yeah,
shit.
like, anything that hits critical mass, like, you know, I'm glad people like Elden Ring. I'm never gonna. Not only because I already wasn't gonna be interested in that type of game, but, like, boy, I just don't.
Well, see, here's the thing about Stranger Things, though, is it's not critical mass anymore because everybody canceled Netflix. Everybody hates... You ever see how people really hate Netflix on Twitter? Like, man, they really hate Netflix.
People hate everything on Twitter.
No, they like things that
You
are...
channel that hate and tell politicians to fuck themselves, people. Those people need to hear it. Netflix isn't going to change shit.
You think? Netflix don't give a fuck.
No.
They making money. I don't know. I see, like, I saw the thing about, you know, Ted Lasso forever, and like, I've still never seen an episode of that show.
Ted Lasso's legit good. I mean, it is.
I mean,
But I can't-
I understand where you're coming from, that it is a good show, but here's the thing, this is kind of me now. Like, when I see everybody talking about how good something is, I assume that I'm probably not going to like it. Because everything
Well,
I
no,
like,
you
everybody
just actively avoid it. That's the thing. It's like, I'll never play Elden Ring. That's for the past, 3 months, everybody's been talking about Elden Ring, and I'm just like...
But it's like, you know, it's like, I can't enjoy like I am a multifaceted person. I do not spend all my time doing one thing and making it my character. So if you just kind of dive into one singular thing and you want to be that way, cool, but like it's when the whole world decides that this is the one thing now. It's how I dropped out of Marvel movies. I could not give less of a shit. Star Wars. It's everywhere. I can't disconnect from it. So the way I'm going to disconnect from it is like, because I can't choose to engage with it, it's just always there, then I'm not going to engage with the parts that are by choice. Right? Does that make sense? Did I say that in a way that makes sense?
No, I'm following you.
Okay. Like, it has nothing to do with quality. I don't think any of this stuff is bad at all. I mean, the world wants to do this to Morbius, and it's like, I'm going to watch it with my friends just because I know it's a legitimately bad movie, and that's what we do together, and then we all regret it later.
I've waited for
that's
things. Yeah, I'm at the point where I wait for things to come home because they come home so fast. And that's even things I want to see. Like, I wanted to see Sonic 2, and I waited until it showed up on Paramount Plus, and I watched it, you know?
Well, it's just like it's not even that with me. It's just like, I do that because I don't want to go to theaters. That's a totally different conversation altogether. I'm more like, hey, Morbius is constantly being talked about as a meme. It's like, sure, this is how we get a second one, and I don't want that. But like, my friend asked me to watch it. I'm like, I suppose. But if he had not, I would have not gone out of my way to see it. And like, I just, I get it now when people are like, I hate Pokemon. Yeah, if you were like, I want to disengage from Pokemon, and Pokemon was everywhere in the 90s and early 2000s, like, yeah, it'd be pretty I understand. Because it still does that. It still takes over when a new one comes out.
Pokemon!
And it's like, but I get why you don't necessarily want to play just the popular stuff or watch the popular stuff. It's like, at some point, you need that choice to disengage, and that's kind of how I've been with Stranger Things. You're right, it has died off a bit, but like, fuck, everybody would tell me how good Game of Thrones is, and then Game of Thrones shit the bed, and look how that died off. Right? So it's like, so like, I'm not gonna not only not want to spend my time waste away to have like a terrible fucking ending, but like, hey, everybody got into this because everybody was telling everybody else how good it was, and look how it all turned out for you people.
I'll be honest with you.
Star Wars, the new trilogy. Look at how everybody responded to that last one. There's very few people that were like, that's a really good movie. Like, you all jump on, and then you all realize, why did I do this?
No, I don't.
I've never fell into that, but I will say that there are a few things that, like, it's one of those things of everybody's talking about this. I'm not hating it just because everybody's talking about it. Like, I won't play Elden Ring because I can't play those games anymore. But the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I think I'm okay. But there are times where, like, everybody gushes over something, and I just didn't bother looking at it. But then later on, can appreciate it. Like with Ted Lasso, everybody was going on and on about Ted Lasso. I'm like, well, I'm not subscribing to this friggin' channel because I don't care about it. And
when it became a choice, it was appealing.
Yeah. And so then I was like, because we got Apple TV Plus for Severance. And we watched Severance, and I said, okay, well, while we got this, let's take a look and see what it is. I was like, I've always heard Ted Lasso was pretty good. Everybody gushed over it like 2 years ago. And we watched it, and I was like, that's actually really enjoyable. It's a good show. And the thing that gets me is, like, I haven't heard anybody talk about Severance except you, Ken.
I saw it a lot.
I saw it a lot too, but
I didn't see it
nowhere
anywhere.
Near nowhere near the amount of anything else we've talked about so far.
No,
Well,
obviously,
not at
Apple
all.
TV's also
Yeah, but I
as
mean,
well.
like, what else? Like, outside of Ted Lasso, what else on Apple TV has been talked about? Exactly.
Yeah,
But
that's
like,
the
you
only-
know,
Severance, like Ted Lasso, I couldn't fucking get away from. Everybody's telling me how wholesome and shit, and I'm like, man, wow, that is definitely not a show I'm gonna watch. Only because it just does not sound like I would enjoy it There's a surprise. I know the negative guy doesn't want to watch a positive show.
You should watch
but-
Drew. While you have Apple TV, you should watch the Tom Hanks movie about the robot.
Robot.
I forget what the name of the movie was,
I know what you're talking about.
but
though.
it was good. I enjoyed that movie.
Honestly, and this is a hill I will die on. You should watch
Finch.
Severance.
Severance
Finch.
is a great show. Like
Finch is the movie.
you can't.
Severance is like one of the that's top tier TV I haven't seen in a very long time.
And you shouldn't read anything about it before you watch it. You should just
No,
fucking
go
I
in
know
watch
about
it.
completely
it.
blind. God, it's so good. That last episode, man.
That last episode killed me. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, it was fucking compelling.
All right. We're done talking about streaming service. Let's talk about video games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anthony, you wanna kick us off?
No,
with some
let's do Drew first because I have a
Okay.
feeling he'll play far less than me. And I
more
have
than
stuff
likely.
that we can roll into you, Ken, from mine.
Sure. All right, Drew. Then I guess you're
Okay.
up.
I did a deep dive of Rogue Legacy 2 and
Oh shit!
finally wrote my review of that. A month late.
We're terrible at writing reviews.
Yeah, oh
Well,
my god, are we?
I
Me especially.
submitted my review and then looked it up. I was like, when the hell did this game come out? Literally exactly a month ago. I'm like, holy crap, I need to get better at this. But I did put a good amount of time into Rogue Legacy 2, and I'm going to say it. That is top 10 of the year contender right there.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing. And I really want to sit down and talk about this for a second because I don't like roguelikes a lot. There's only a few. Rogue Legacy 1 was one of those. And the reason why Rogue Legacy 1 stuck with me so long was because of the gameplay. Rogue Legacy 2 has that gameplay in spades, but it also adds so much more to the game. It is Rogue Legacy 1 times 3. It's so freaking good.
Yeah, I love the fact that you can equip runes and change weapons. I've been playing this too, so it's funny that you started off with this. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. It is legit one of the best games to come out this year. It is. Oh, go ahead.
Are you thinking that they're because I'm pretty sure everything's 3D. Well, not the world, I should say, but the character.
Like the character models?
I'm pretty sure it's not two-dimensional. It just looks that way.
Possibly. Everything looks hand-drawn.
Because when they die, they're clearly a 3D model.
That's true, yeah, because they do those funny little like animations
and death
when they
animations. And the same with the bosses. The bosses are like a 3D character, and then as soon as you start fighting it, it looks two-dimensional again.
die. It could be like the Guilty Gear stuff. How
That's
they did
what
with
I was
Guilty Gear.
thinking.
Yeah.
There's just certain things about the way the character moves. I'm like, I don't know if it would be easier to switch to a 2D animation of this. I feel like you would just animate in 3D. Because that kind of blew my mind when I first saw that. So
The one thing that I praise this game for, and it's probably the best thing about this game, is the sense of progression. Most roguelites, or even the Soul series, if you die, well, I gotta start this over. But in Rogue Legacy 2 especially, their sense of progression, it's just enough to make you want to keep going.
I think it's also that it's clear. Unlike, because you're always progressing in Binding of Isaac by unlocking new items that you can
Sure.
find, but it doesn't do as good of a job telling the player what you have to do to unlock certain items. So, because it's just like, yeah, pay enough gold, increase your castle becomes bigger, you have more access to things. Like, that's pretty, like, well obvious. Like,
Right, straightforward.
yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3.
But then on top of that, there is, even though everything's randomized every time you play the game, there are builds that you can go for. So, and it's, even if it's like you find these relics. And I was like, ooh, I found this relic. If I can only find this relic or this relic to combine with that, I'd have a really good build going. And, sometimes I run into it and you get a great run. Like I found I don't know what the name of the weapon was, but it's like the Grim Reaper's Scythe.
Oh, I hated that.
Oh God, dude, it got me through 2 bosses in 3 different areas.
Wow. I hated that. I found out that I like the characters that carry an axe. And I had the
barbarian,
but like I had it where I had the axe, and then I had whatever it was that allows me to build an aura that causes damage around me when I strike an enemy. So
okay.
I had that boss, the first boss, like it just constantly doing damage to it because every time I hit it, I was doing extra damage on top of that.
Yeah.
Plus a higher crit rate. However, right after you finish the first boss, you have to go kind of to the right into the section where you have to do the jump up the tower.
Yep.
And that character had the clumsy trait, which breaks things automatically, which makes doing that jump up against the vines near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I did it, but oh my god.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not the character built for this. A lot of precision platforming in this game, which the first game didn't have. Really.
No.
Like,
honestly, I could
more
go
skilled games.
Yeah, I could go without the downward slash jump, but I mean, I get why it's there, because there's tons of paths in this game where you got to have that, and they wanted to make it because obviously you got to make the game bigger, and there's tons of areas in this game. And I don't know, like it really, and the mere fact that I don't remember if this was in the first game or not. Have you ran into the pizza delivery girl?
No.
Okay. She's a godsend. The pizza delivery girl will allow you to infinitely unlock a travel point.
Oh. So
no matter if you save the dungeon or not, you will always have that travel point unlocked.
Oh, okay.
So if you progress a good amount, so if you make it to the area 4 and you find the beginning teleporter, you can say, all right, I'm going to pay you some gold, unlock this forever. So instead of having to go through the entire dungeon trying to get back to where I was, I can now start from here. Go ahead.
I said neat.
Oh yeah. No, that's fantastic. And for some reason it took me like 3 hours to finally figure out how the living safe works.
Yeah. Okay. How does that work?
Okay. So,
because I've been trying to figure that out too. Does it automatically deposit?
So every time you pay Sharon to go to the dungeon, some of that money goes to the living safe, and you can increase it by upgrading your castle and stuff like that. And every time I go by the safe, it's a different amount. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute! I had 100 gold in here. Now I've only got 85. What's going on? The money that you currently have is including what's in the safe.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what confused me. I was like, what the hell? Like, I had more money in here, and now I'm down to like 2 gold. That's because the money that I just spent was also including what's in the safe. So I was like, what? It took me like 3 hours. I'm like, why the hell? Is it just fucking random? Am I getting taxed? Like, I couldn't figure it out. But, yeah, no, there's so much in this game, dude. There's like the scars that you find. So like there's the ghosts that you can talk to, and there's also the red ghosts that will update scars, which in town, you may not have unlocked it yet. There's a whole little hub where you can like...
Oh no, I have that.
You have the scars and stuff. Yeah, the house. Okay. Yeah, and I mean that's the whole that's like
part of the game.
50 side quests right there, just like finding this stuff out, and then you find clues of where these people are, or where you can find more scars that you can then those also do permanent passive upgrades, and it's crazy, dude. The amount of content in this game is insane. This game is $25, and it is well worth it. This is
Yeah.
one of the games of the year. I'm not even joking around.
I'm probably gonna end up getting this on Switch. God damn it.
Switch
Playing
cord.
on Xbox.
Where are you playing it now?
Xbox.
Ah,
But I can just see myself being like, yeah, I'll play this again. You know, because here I am doing the normal thing of like, yep, I'm gonna play it again somewhere else.
that's
I know
good.
myself.
People are weird.
Hey,
It is
like
very good.
with roguelike stuff, it's at least a different game. Like, rarely do I feel like I need to have a game twice anymore. Anyways, we used to do that.
I saw people who
Why the
have
fuck?
Game Pass Ultimate playing Sniper Elite on the PlayStation this weekend. And I just sat there and I went, why?
You could have played it for free.
Yeah, like why spend $70 when you can play it for free?
You know what? If you have the previous game, sometimes it's just like, yeah, I want that muscle memory. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know.
Ain't no muscle memory in the world worth $70 to me that I don't need to spend, because I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but $70 is a lot of money.
Yeah. But yeah, Rogue Legacy 2, if you enjoyed the first game, you will absolutely love this one. This is the roguelike people that roguelikes, you don't like them. There's a lot of likes in that sentence.
I was just about to point
Yeah.
that out. I'm like, can you say like any more times, man?
Yeah, I know.
What are those enemies in Zelda called?
Like.
There you go. There you go.
Like.
They should make a roguelike about likes called roguelike like.
Hold on. I'm looking it up because there's a phrase that comes from, and I can't remember what the phrase is, but it's like specific. Why they called them likes. God damn it.
The bats are called keys.
Yeah.
What was the rabbits called? The ones that were scared of sound.
Oh,
Pole's
Pole's voice, yeah. And then there's the dark nut, which sounds dirty.
Apparently, it's from the. Okay. According to the trophy in Super Smash Brothers, Melee, whatever, fuck it, I don't give a shit how I say it anymore. The name like is derived from an ancient Hyrulean proverb, shield eaters and the world leaders have many likes alike.
Okay.
In the Japanese version, it comes from the Japanese proverb, which means to each their own tastes. So,
Gotcha.
I remember, like. I remember there being a reason why they were called that.
Because it's Nintendo and fuck it.
Yep. But yeah, as I was saying, horribly, non-fans of roguelikes can enjoy this game.
Yep. Rogue Legacy still the one, pretty much I think maybe the only one that I enjoy of those kind of games.
You got into Dead Cells a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah. A little bit. That's being generous.
Rogue Legacy makes Dead Souls look bad, and
Dead
I hate
Cells.
to be like that. Dead Cells, whatever. It's going for souls. That's probably the reason why it's called Dead Cells.
They're supposed to be doing an accessibility patch for Dead Cells soon that is kind of built into Rogue Legacy 2 to where like you don't start over, like you can actually make a save point or something. Like I forget what the specifics of it were.
That's the other thing I didn't even put in my freaking review. I totally forgot about it. You can totally customize that game to where like I kill everything in one hit and I don't die.
They just added that to Deathloop recently.
Really?
Yeah, so in Deathloop you can turn on like one-shot kills and like a bunch of other accessibility stuff that allows people that don't enjoy those kind of games to actually see the whole.
But then you're just ruining the game. All right.
I mean, Deathloop didn't exactly set the world on fire, so I don't think
No,
anybody cares.
It's one of those like
Likes?
your game's not ruined, everybody.
I mean, come on, you know how people are.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna call. I'm
play
done.
that mode. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
that difficult.
I'm done being nice to people that have shitty opinions on things, including myself.
Shame on you.
More so myself than anybody else. But I'm just like, I'm so tired of like the constant like ruining the integrity of the game, and then in this next breath telling everybody they should play it when that's not necessarily a possibility.
Yeah.
I have a life, you fucking idiots.
What else is
I
going on?
don't. And I still can't play those games. Playing AI, the Insomnium Files.
The Somnium Files.
I said it again. I said Insomnium. Yep.
I only know that because I had to type it 4 times this weekend for your podcast, so that's the only reason I knew it.
Somnium Files.
Somnium Files.
That game goes places. That game is wild.
I mean,
I
most
need to
of those
play it.
visual novels are, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Isn't that from the 999 guy?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell it, but it's... The great thing about it, besides 999 and the other games, is that there's a flow chart.
Sure.
So if you make it to a path and the game quote ends, you can easily just say, I want to go back to this exact point.
That's
no more
no
more starting over.
That's in 999.
That's also in Detroit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
999, when they redid that game for the Nonary Games collection,
Which just dropped
They
on
added
Game
that.
Pass, didn't it?
It's been there for a
Nonary
while.
Games drop on Game Pass recently?
Nonary Games is on there, but it's been on there for a little while.
Okay. I don't know most of these games, so I remember seeing something popped up on there a while back. I didn't remember what it was.
Yeah. And I don't know who the killer is. Jay asked that question. And I'm like, dude, I don't know, but I'm going to say this. And he's like, okay, well, you can change it one more time if you want. And I'm sure if I change it, it's still going to be wrong. This game, like, holy crap. Like, the people I'm thinking, oh, yeah, that's the killer. Nope, they're dead next scene. I'm like, okay, I don't know who the killer is. But it's crazy. That game's nuts. And the sequel's coming out next month, I believe.
Yeah, the Nirvana one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm playing a lot of it. That's honestly, I think that's about it. I mean, I did mess around with a few games that I got for $5.
Because you wanted to buy Agony because you wanted to spend your $1.
I've still got that $1. I don't know what to spend it on.
Don't buy. Just buy something that's
just
like $5.
Just buy Agony. Just fucking do it, Drew. Take the fucking.
If you can't get yourself to go out and spend $3 or $4 extra dollars, you deserve Agony.
I deserve Agony.
That game is so bad.
Is it because what is it, a sneaking game and the sneaking doesn't work?
No, dude, it's just a first-person horny game. There's a bunch of like horny demons in it.
But like fucked up horny.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you're not invited to the fetish club anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been banned, have you? Okay.
Wasn't that game in development for like 8 years?
No, I think you're thinking the. God, what's the one that's coming? Ken. Ha!
I'm pretty sure I remember.
No,
footage of Agony
God damn
before.
it, Ken, you ruined it. I don't remember the name of the game.
I don't know which game you're talking about, but
The one that's got the Giger-esque penis
Scorn,
monster.
the wall
Scorn.
penis game.
Wall penis, thank you.
Yeah, Scorn.
Drew, are you gonna get Agony?
I don't know why.
If you get it, I'll buy it too, and then we can talk about it.
Dude, no, don't. You guys do not waste your money on this game.
Intermission.
It's so
Intermission
bad.
episode.
That game is so bad. It's not even a video game.
Listen.
Is it just
We
like a
played
walking
some of the-
simulator?
Kinda, yeah. You just walk
We played-
around.
Hold on, we played some of the worst shit, Ken.
No,
This cannot be worse. This cannot be worse.
All right, well, y'all enjoy it because I'm telling you, it's worse than Popeye.
Is it worse than Ride to Hell?
Yes,
I don't
Is it-
believe you.
Yeah.
dude.
Hold on.
Is it worse than Perfect Weapon?
Weapon.
Yes. You want to know why this game is worse than all of these games you're naming?
Because they're actually video games.
Yes, there's no point to Agony.
Is there like a goal?
Hold
No.
on now. I'm wondering if this is a really meta game.
There's no point.
And you feel it. You feel.
I don't feel
the
anything
agony.
but agony for paying for it. It's a bad video game. And I
Look,
bought it for
I mean-
99 cents, okay? Don't buy it.
I feel like I'm going to do
Don't
this.
buy it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is only pushing me further.
All
Yeah,
right.
This is, dude. You forget. I spent a whole year playing garbage.
I mean, this isn't garbage. This is just. There's just no
Agony.
point. Yeah, there's just no point.
Perhaps it is meta.
Yeah.
It's something.
This
Yeah.
game is actually genius.
No, it's not. No, stop
It
it.
makes you feel agony.
It's,
Ken, you're
it's-
only selling me further on.
It's
yeah,
okay.
it's the quiet man in hell.
This makes the Quiet Man look like Game of the Year.
Oh god.
I'm just
No,
saying.
it doesn't. Nothing. Oh, fuck.
You all haven't played Agony yet.
Every time, can we go back? I want to put fucking The Quiet Man right above Perfect Weapon. We gave that game
on, man.
too much slack. Oh my god.
Come on. I mean,
It's
it
better
was
than
bad.
Perfect Weapon. It's better than Perfect Weapon and worse than everything else.
I don't know.
Dude,
No.
hold on.
Dude, you can't even freaking play Ride to Hell.
And yet I enjoyed that more.
Oh, I don't know.
You have to sit through a silent movie.
I know.
They're like, we want you to experience it. Like,
That's art.
it's so, no, it's not. No, it's not, Ken. No, it's not. It's this psychotic vision of this one man that wrote it, and it was like, it'll just be like deaf people. Somehow, deaf people don't understand context or understand anything. Oh, wait, no, our character does, so I'm just the one that's left out of the loop. Cool.
Yeah.
And then it's just this, like, droney kind of...
Mhm.
the whole time. And
Yeah.
you're like, what? And then, when you finally get the story, you're like, man,
The story sucks.
this is... Not only does it suck, like, so, like, the guy wants to, like, fuck the woman that looks just like his mother, and we're just okay with this.
I mean,
Okay.
y'all are making a case to play Agony. I can't say anything.
I'm probably going to pick up Agony.
Drew, the moment you do, let me know.
I'm probably going to do it today, so.
Why don't you just do it right now, and then
Oh
I'll
my
pick it up, too.
god, y'all.
Okay.
Anthony, talk about
Or-
real video games.
Hold on. Drew, do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so. Just more Mario Golf.
The
World
3DS
Tour.
one?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
World Tour, yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. Doing it live.
Y'all are fucked up.
Hold on. Wait for it.
I mean,
going
how long does it
1,000
take you to
points.
buy something? It's digital. makes for
And
great
I
fucking
now
radio.
own Agony.
So
Alright.
I'm not going to do that because it'll start downloading and then my connection will be garbage.
It's because you got a
Mine
hamster and a
doesn't.
wheel running.
This is true, and there's nothing I could do because the company has a monopoly in my area.
It's pretty much internet in every area is a monopoly.
Yep.
Okay, so games I played. So I finished Sly Cooper. Got my my platinum trophy for that. I should
The-
say gold,
the
but
The first
the
game
first one. The first
on
one.
PS3.
I'm going through. Yep.
You know, I
Oh,
booted that up on
I
PlayStation.
did that too. I have the platinum for that too.
I
So,
booted that up
well, I
on
mean, all you have to do is
PlayStation
do
now after you mentioned
everything.
it.
All you have to do is everything in that game and you get it, except for the time trials. And I was like, alright. Yeah, that game... Playing Sly Cooper and Sly 2 back to back just shows me the faults in both. Sly Cooper shows its faults just because it's old, and like the damage system sucks. Like the fact that he doesn't have a health bar, he just has like hits based off of how many coins he has. You're like, yeah, and then there's just some unfair shit, and you're like, these are just cheap ways of screwing over the player. You go into Sly 2 and you're like, wow, I've been playing this game just as long as like Sly 1, and it says 36% at the bottom. Jesus Christ. This is a long ass game. In comparison to the first one, I should say. But I mean, like, man, Sly 2 is such a better game overall. Still, it's just long. Like the constant having to go through like an open world thing with different characters, and then having to go back to the hideout to switch for the next mission. You're like, all right. Wish there was a faster way to do this, because it feels like Donkey Kong 64, and that is not a positive. But you know what? I'm still enjoying it. I took a break from that to start up Rogue Legacy 2, which we've already talked about, and been enjoying that. Because I was playing Rogue Legacy 2 while I downloaded KO the Kangaroo.
KO!
I don't know how I feel about that.
The game
I
or
don't-
what I just said?
The game. I don't give a
Okay.
shit what you just said.
That's
Like that
fine,
had
that's fine.
no, that had no relevance on my life other than like, yep, it was a sound. Yeah, I don't like. Oh fuck. Okay, so the game ain't great. The game is nowhere near as well done as the second game, which was like a Rayman 2 ripoff. This is like okay. I do not like the current design of anything. I don't like the cartoony aspect of it. I don't think it looks all that great.
I mean,
Fucking voice acting is abysmal.
it's fucking KO, the kangaroo, which was already a third
You
rate.
didn't. You're right. You're right. However, and this is where I'm just gonna. There could have been no talking, and I would have been just as okay with it. In fact, if you had done the Rayman 2 thing and just went, I probably would have had a better time. But every time KO opens his mouth, I'm like, that voice actor is not doing a good job here. I do not know if they are a bad voice actor, but it is not a good performance. And that could be direction, but the fact that everybody else seems to be okay, I'm like, this is not great. Outside of that, like, yeah, it's a 3D platformer.
Yeah,
It's like it is
literally
like
the
it is
pinnacle of like PS1, PS2 generic platformer. That's what it was.
is yeah, but like when they were ripping off Rayman. So here's my thing: the second game and sort of the third game that never came over here, it is now got an official translation, GOG. But like the original game sucks. I won't even defend the original KO, but the second and third game.
I didn't even know they
Ripped
made
off
a
Rayman.
third. Holy shit!
Yeah. Again, it was like Poland only because that's where the original studio was, and they were Rayman 2 ripoffs. And you know what? We don't have 3D Rayman games anymore. So I was like, well, all this needs to do is be a decent 3D platformer that gives me, you know, Rayman vibes, and I'll be very happy. And it doesn't. It's just a mediocre 3D platformer with, like, combat in there. I'm like, yeah, this is that type of 3D platformer that, like, we had a billion of. Like, I don't see the benefit in this game at all. Like, it is... Hold on. What did I give Ice Age? You know what I mean? Like, that is where I'm on par with right now.
I feel like this game is. I played that Ice Age game. I feel like this is better than that.
Okay, so I gave it a 5.5. I could see this KO being a 6 or 6.5. It's not. You're right. It's better. It looks better. It plays a bit better. But like, I would not. How much is this game? You reviewed it.
Well, I haven't
Right?
yet.
How much is it?
I think it's
Do you know?
30. Let me check.
30 is not bad, and definitely
Yeah, $29.99. That's what I thought.
Okay, so like 30's not bad in comparison to the $40 that they asked for Ice Age. So, yeah, but like, not what I was hoping for. I was expecting just a little bit more like originality in place of, you know, voice acting and other flourishes that you'd see in a bigger product. But yeah, but every time KO opens his mouth, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I've heard that you can turn mumbles back on by unlocking it, and boy, that's the first thing I'm doing.
Well, you gotta unlock it first, you know.
You're right. I'm gonna work really hard to unlock it. So I can just hear, because I'm like, that'll make it a lot more tolerable. Because, like, the plot doesn't matter. Also, boy, do they just really fucking fire you into the plot on full cylinders, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. They're like, yeah, I just figured out.
You guys, what's the worst voice acting you ever heard?
The worst ever?
Are we there? I have a question for you, Drew.
Yep.
Do you, like, does that mean just completely unenjoyable? Because there's bad voice acting where I go, yeah, but, like, part of that is the script and the direction, but then you love it because it's terrible, like, you know, Castlevania,
right.
Resident Evil, House of the Dead, you know, all those are really bad voice acting, but, like, not necessarily the fault of the actors, and they've come out more charming than anything.
Okay, so, alright, I have an example, because if I say this, we could easily just go with Swollen Scorpions, but...
Yeah, but see, that's enjoyable, right? So it's like...
It's enjoyable, and it's also, that's not their native language.
That is true, and like, that is the only part of that game where I remember being like, oh yeah, that's... Like, I could hear the accent, but it was like... It was just like, oh yeah, this is like them forcing through to read English, so like they're translating in their head in like real time. And I'm like, yeah, like that's the reason why the pacing of the dialogue is off and stuff. But otherwise, it wasn't the worst voice acting I ever heard, and it was more charming than anything. And then they fixed that game and made it all Chinese, which is weird.
I mean, probably for the best, but so my example is, I would say a game that is considered good that has bad voice acting. Steve from Code Veronica.
His voice acting is pretty bad.
It's probably the worst voice acting I've ever heard. And it's not, the thing is that nobody else in that game sounds that bad. Was it Steve Burnside? Was that his name?
I forget what his name is. It's something stupid like that.
Yeah. His voice acting, just listen to any of the voice acting from him in that game.
I mean, he's got like a whiny tinge to it. Like,
yeah, outside of like, I'm trying to think. Like, there's.
Oh, what about that Resident Evil, the Gun Survivor, whatever, that with the PS1 game? Have you ever heard that?
No.
Oh my God, what is that? There's an Angry Video Game Nerd episode about it.
Yeah, it's Gun Survivor, the first person thing.
Yeah,
that's not great.
Oh, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, like I'm looking at a list just to be like, yeah, let's see what's some of the bad voice acting. But it's like, guys, like all these are like either super old or like super budgety, and I'm like, I don't like Mega Man 8. Yeah, but like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, you know?
Mega Man 8's intro sequence and Mega Man 8.
I can say so. Like partially, like again, we go back to it's not really fair. Is like Shenmue 3 has bad voice acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did that on purpose because people were like, this is why I like this game.
Yeah, so like, you know, but like...
No.
Well, no, they did it because Yu Suzuki hasn't played video games in 20 fucking years.
Dude, the community would have lost their shit if it wasn't the same...
I'm sure if it was the same... yeah, but it's the same actors could have delivered a less stiff performance and it would have been probably accepted. They just had to have the same...
No, the problem with Shenmue is that you will have a conversation with somebody and each voice line feels like it's from a different conversation.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, KO is up there definitely because it's like KO sounds terrible and everybody else sounds like they've done this before. And whoever's voicing KO sounds like it's their first time doing a voice. And I don't believe that. I'm just saying like it's like, oof, this is not great. Like, there's nothing about this character that like tonally sounds right. He doesn't seem to be reacting to everything. He just sounds like make character whimsical, sort of. And that was the direction. And then they were like, that first take.
They probably paid that guy like $500 for the session.
Fucking send that $500 to me and I'll do you a better KO voice.
You think you will, but...
Oh no, I could definitely, I would send them a bunch of takes and be like, here, I've tried to sound like KO from number 2 because that is a better voice. Although I don't think I can do the Australian.
Do the accent?
No, I'm not going to do the accent, but fuck. Man, I don't know. Like, that's a hard thing. It's like I feel like that only stands out in the moment. I don't flash back to like bad voice acting, and I've lucked out. I think I've skipped a lot of the real bad outings.
There is those videos of that guy pantomiming the voices from a long time ago.
Sure.
The Feel the Power of My Magic is probably one of the best. It's from one of the Dynasty Warriors games.
Did you know that they added the Dolph Lundgren Masters of the Universe movie to HBO Max? And
fucking Jesus.
I feel like I need to watch it again.
Terrible movie.
It's not good.
What's that fucking dude's name? Gwildor? It was like the Orko-like, but he wasn't Orko. God damn it.
I'm gonna feel the power of my magic.
We're gonna go. What else you got?
Oh, me?
No,
you're the one talking about video games. So
we were talking about voices, and I was like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't got anything else. Oh god, the Wonder Boy collection. I just slowly like went down in like quality. All right, Wonder Boy collection, made by Ratalaika.
Well, published by Ratalaika.
No, it's made by them.
I didn't think they actually made video games.
Yes, they do. They publish stuff, and they have this wrapper that they put on like old ROMs.
Like Tone Loc?
Wow, you're the only person to referring to Tone Loc.
We talked about Young MC and Tone Loc last week.
Yeah, but like we didn't call him a rapper. I don't think last week. Maybe we did. I don't give a shit. Anyways,
Taco Bell.
Just a talker.
Wow, this is just a collection of ROMs.
Well, I mean,
I know what you're thinking. Yeah, of course it is. Okay. I love Wonder Boy, and I feel like Wonder Boy is one of those series that randomly, 5 years ago now, when the remaster of 3 came out, remake, whatever you want to call it, from Lizard Cube came out, all of a sudden, like, hype started to build around Wonder Boy.
Hype is a strong word.
Sorry?
Hype is a strong word.
Okay, a cult following emerged. Whatever you want a fucking word, whatever. It suddenly began to become way more talked about than it was, because at one point, like, there was 2 websites I could find that talked about Wonder Boy. One was a Wonder Boy fan site, and the other was Hardcore Gaming 101. That was it. So suddenly I'm like, wow, okay, Wonder Boy has become popular. Cool. And we saw, so some weird licensing thing happened where, like, I don't think Sega really owns any of it anymore. And some Korean company had part of it, and somebody bought that out. And so anyways, we had a Wonder Boy Returns game, which was a remake of Wonder Boy 1, which is Adventure Island. And it's kind of sucked, and they went and fixed it, and good for them. Excuse me, we had Monster Boy, which was made by, part of the original team, and very good, and I love Monster Boy, and I love the Dragon's Trap remake, and I was excited because, like, hey, Wonder Boy collection. Now, on the PS2 in Japan, there was a Sega Ages 2500, which was the price in yen, release that was a Wonder Boy collection made by M2, and it had like every version of every game on it. So it had Wonder Boy, a bunch of versions, it was Monster World, so it didn't have Wonder Boy, but it had Wonder Boy 2 in Monsterland, all the versions of that, arcade, Master System, and whatever else it was on. Dragon's Trap, they had the Game Gear version, the Master System version. I think they were just missing the Turbo Graphics version, which has a different name. It's like they put a ton of work into making that like the ultimate collection. The team at NN, whoever, the publisher NN, which is also Strictly Limited, it's owned by the same parent company. I know I've gone over this before, but I think now I have to bring it up again because apparently this company doesn't learn. They did a Wonder or Monster World 4, Asha, and it was like Wonder Boy or Monster World 4, Asha and whatever. They did a remake. They did a Monster World 4 remake, and it was all 3D animated, but it came with the original, and like, cool. I'm glad that they went back and did some, like, they did a full 3D remake, and they included the original. Strictly Limited decided to sell a full version of this Wonder Boy collection that included Dragon's Trap, included multiple versions of every game, and sold it, again, physical only through their site. And that's the only way to get the complete collection. On the side, their sister publisher, NN, is publishing a version that has 4 fucking ROMs in it. So it doesn't have all the versions. It's a boring ass wrapper that like allows you to play, you know, these 4 games with like, and look, the emulation's fine. It's not a complaint about the emulation, but like, they're just ROMs in a wrapper. And it's like, is the most minimal amount of work you could do. And it's disappointing because it's clearly done just to cash in off of the newfound popularity of the Wonder Boy series. And the fact that this publisher, and I'm going to say it as one because I know that they call themselves Strictly Limited on one side and NN on the other, but like, fuck you, you're the same company. They do this all the time. They've done it to Turrican. They've done it to Space Invaders. They sell the complete version on Strictly Limited, and then they put out a fucking dumbed down version through NN, and they'll sell physical copies of that in stores. So they have the physical manufacturing capability to make these games and just sell them in stores, and they actively choose not to do that. And that's so irritating, and it's clearly a scummy move to sell you a bunch of shit and overcharge you through their website, Strictly Limited. It's a shitty move, and it's like, great, these games emulate and play fine, but like, at that point I go, well, fuck you, you don't give a shit about this, you're just in this for a quick check, and you've done actually nothing. You didn't develop these games, you just bought rights to them, and you're throwing them out there. And like, you know, I just shit on KO the Kangaroo, but like, they made a new game. I don't know if it's the same people, but whoever owns the rights to KO made a new game. The people that own and I only bring this up because, like, Ken, you point out this a lot that Ty the Tasmanian Tiger gets reissued. But like, that team that whoever owns it went back and changed things to make it work better on modern consoles. They put in a lot of work. It may not all be seen, but they put in a lot of work. You know, Lizard Cube put a lot of work into making it so you could play the original Wonder Boy 3 as accurately as possible. And like, as well as having new additions to it. There are people out there that do a lot of work in just making games more accessible. And this is the example of like, we have done absolutely fuck all. Hand us however much money this collection is for the dumbed down version. And like, I want to say it was like $80 American to get the physical copy with all the stuff before shipping. And it's like, I'm so tired of having to bring up this fucking publisher and this shit. People complained when Devolver announced that they were doing like a physical only game. You could only ever play it if you bought the physical Switch cartridge. Because yeah, it's shitty. And like, you know what? As someone that does buy physical stuff still, It's not that it's physical, it's that it's physical only. It's like digital only. I don't like not having choices, you know? But like digital, at least I can understand that it's like, well, you know, it costs money to make physical products. It costs more money, I should say, to make physical products. And then distribution and all that stuff. I understand wanting to avoid that aspect. To avoid a digital release, to have a physical one only, that's a shit move. Like, there's nothing consumer friendly about that. You're an asshole. You're an asshole who's forcing me to, if I want the complete experience, I have to pay you for it. Or I can buy the fucking kneecapped version from any game store or the digital marketplace. Fuck you. Fuck this fucking company. Fuck NN. Fuck Strictly Limited. I'm so done with their shit. I love Wonder Boy, and yet every time I play this collection, I'm like, yeah, so you get Wonder Boy 2, skip Wonder Boy 3, Wonder Boy 4, and then Monster World 4. And it's like, well, there's a big gap in that. But you don't have that gap if you bought their big fucking collection straight from them. They have the rights. They chose not to. That's a scumbag move. And this publisher has done this before with the Space Invaders collection that I reviewed and the Turrican collection, which I have not reviewed, but they sold as 2 different bundles, which, by the way, customers still don't have. Should point that out. They sold all the Turrican games over 2 cartridges, and customers do not have that version. And that version was going to have extra content that was not in their dumbed down version that you can buy for like $40. Like, it's, you know, as much as we give shit to Limited Run, and god damn it, I really hate that they're bringing back Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, none of that stuff is strictly through them. Like, all the physical tchotchkes and soundtracks may be through them only, but like, you can still play the game. I'm pretty sure, as much as you shouldn't, you will be able to play Plumbers Don't Wear Ties digitally. I hate this publisher for what they've done. Like, I should not be complaining about a Wonder Boy game. You know? I should be going, at least you tried, but like, you didn't. You didn't at all. Like, there's better ways to play this. You just download the, like, it feels like they just went to, like, coolroms.com and just download the ROMs and put them in an emulator and sold it to people.
They probably got a virus.
I fucking hope they did. So, yeah, ending off on a great note, fucking Wonder Boy collection. I would not recommend it. And everybody, like, there's other ways to play these games, and I can't justify. Give me a second. I'm just gonna look up the price, because that'll either increase my anger or dumb it down, and I don't know where we're at yet. So just give me like a minute. I know it's great radio, everybody, but like, no fucking. It's probably $20.
Probably.
Because oh no, hold on. I can't tell what website, which version of Nintendo I'm on, because it doesn't tell me whether or not I'm seeing Canadian price or American. Always love that.
Here we go. Wonder Boy collection is
30?
It's loading. The eShop is even slow on the web. $29.99.
Yeah. I can't recommend it for that price. You can get a really good version of Wonder Boy and Monsterland from the Sega Ages collection on Switch. It's going to cost you a bit more, but M2 has done a really good job. Like I said, you can honestly skip the original Wonder Boy and just play Adventure Island. I think those games get better and better as you go through that series. Wonder Boy Monster World, I'm pretty sure, is available on PC, and Monster World 4 is available as a separate game from NN, unfortunately. But like, that's a better collection that I would pay for, where you get the new version and the original classic for about the same price as this collection, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it felt better to play. want to see something quickly, because if it's on there still, I can save you probably way more money. So originally there was, and maybe it's not there anymore, but Xbox had a Wonder Boy collection too.
Yeah, it's backwards compatible. It was a 360.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be.
I own it. I saw it in my list the other day.
Yeah, I own it too, obviously.
Obviously.
So I'm assuming they. Yeah, no. So here's save yourself money and just pay. If you have an Xbox, pay $10 and get way better versions of each of these games. Because like they play better too. Because I did not like the interface that I was using to play these games. You get Wonder Boy 2 in Monsterland, Wonder Boy in Monster World, and Monster World 4 in one collection for $10, and you can play it on your Xbox One.
Or your Series X.
Or your Series X. Yeah, I forget that. That's the newer one.
Yeah, that's a new system, you know, those fangled
I still haven't seen them on... Well, it's not available on store shelves, so as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist.
The S is everywhere.
Yeah, the S is still harder to find than you think up here, but anyways, yeah. Like, I would just skip this collection, honestly. There's other ways to play these games. Very disappointed. Yeah. That's it for me.
Alright. I'm gonna kick off with a weird one. See if you if you know this game. It is Cubite Classics Gym Power, the Lost Dimension Collection.
What the fuck? This is the one where he's got the jointed arms and legs, right?
So this was originally a Super Nintendo game. This release is impactful.
Oh no, this is not the. Oh
this
god,
is like a
Jim
Contra
Powers.
style side-scrolling shooter. So this
where
game,
the background moves like a psychotic, epileptic fit.
Yeah, so this release is the unreleased Genesis version, as well as a newly developed NES version. So the NES version is literally built from the ground up for this release. And you can switch between the two versions, so you can play 16-bit or 8-bit, just depending on what you want to play. This game is so fucking hard. Like, I made it maybe to the second level. It's so hard. The jumping doesn't feel great.
Does anything in that game feel great?
No. It's weird, but it's kind of a cool thing to see, you know? I don't know.
It looks like they're putting work into it. Hey, Strictly Limited, maybe you should take a fucking note of what they're doing for Gym Goddamn Power.
Dude, Cubite puts out the weirdest shit. Like, they put out that Humankind strategy game a while back. They're the ones doing Zero Tolerance Collection. Which,
God bless them for that one. That's a weird one too. But they're putting work into that too.
Yes.
Like, again.
No, I respect the work they put into this, because it's a nice collection. But holy shit, that game is rough. So.
I'm trying to find their website so I can see what else they're fucking doing right now.
Oh, but... Cubite? Yeah, Cubite has a website. That's where I looked up the.
How do you spell it? How do you spell their
Qubyte? So it's Cubite Interactive. I played another one of their games this week as well, which was Underland, The Climb, which is essentially like a room-by-room puzzle game where you have to solve these puzzles to slowly climb up from the bottom of this chasm. That's not bad. Apparently there's a sequel coming soon, so that's why the first one was put out. I played a lot of indie games this week that present you with a grid of levels, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you pick the level and you do the puzzle. I played a lot of those this week. I played a mini golf adventure, which is also broke out like that, you know, like a grid of levels, and you got to beat the level. You basically have to collect the gems and get the ball in the hole in a certain amount of strokes, and that's what the mini golf adventure is. Swords and Bones is also here's a grid of levels, and the objective is just run through the level, kill the enemies, collect the treasures, move on to the next level. Blow and Fly is another game where the levels are put out in a grid, and this game has got to be one of the weirdest physics-based puzzle games I've ever played. Basically, you're a blowfish, and you have to use your momentum to move through these intricate like platform areas without essentially like a Meat Boy style.
When you say momentum, you're blowing out air, aren't you?
Yes, you're literally facing your fish towards the ground and blowing. So,
and you go through like a maze?
Yeah, sometimes there's a maze, and it gets harder where like there's spikes on the floor and things like that. So
there's I don't remember what it was called, but there was a game that everybody should watch this channel, Ross's Game Dungeon, Cursed Farms on YouTube. He did a very old like game, and it was literally that. So when you're saying like, oh yeah, it's this, I'm like, yeah, fucking, that is this whole ass game. Helios is what it was called, and you're like a balloon that pushes air through, and then you go through a maze. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds a lot like that.
That's similar to what this is, absolutely. What else did I play? I played it. So, Drew, if you ever need 1,000 achievement points real quick, there's a game called Lab Crisis. Took me 2 minutes to get 1,000 achievement points. It's literally just a dude moving through a dungeon, collecting scientists, and taking them to the exit.
And it's 2 minutes long?
Well, the whole game probably is longer, but it took 2 minutes to get 1,000 achievement points.
Wow.
Like, I was getting achievements so fast that I was earning them before the last one popped up.
Gotcha.
I literally 1,000 pointed the game in 2 minutes, and it's $3.99. So, you know. Oh, what else did I play? Zombo Buster Advance is a tower defense game. Basically put soldiers down, kill zombies before they hit the door. You know the drill. Same thing. Death's Gambit Afterlife finally came to the Xbox. It'd been on Switch and PlayStation and PC forever. It's finally on Xbox. It's a fucking Souls game. You know what you're dealing with. 2D pixelated Souls game. So you get a horse in this one. So it was ahead of its time for Elden Ring, you know. Remote Life is one of the Ratalaika games I played this week. In screenshots, you'll look at it and you'll be like, this looks like a really awesome 2D horizontal shooter with a neat mechanic of being able to use the right analog stick to change the trajectory of your shots. And it's fine. It's not the best horizontal shooter I've ever played, but it kind of gives me some vibes of R-Type, with its kind of like, what's the best way to describe it? Like really large, kind of freaky looking enemies. Like the box art is literally like a skull. So you kind of get the idea of what the enemy types are in that game. And then I booted up Injection Pi 23 Ars Regia, whatever the fuck. It's a third-person survival horror game that kind of doesn't play very well. So those are the indie games I played this week. I did spend a bunch of time. I'm still playing through Sniper Elite 5, which I think is probably the best Sniper Elite. Like, those games incrementally get better every time. This one is very good. It's got 8 very large open world areas to run through.
How many times have you shot Hitler in his one testicle and watched it explode?
So that is DLC again?
I love that that's just always returns. Like, fuck it, let's kill Hitler.
Yep, that's still in there, and it's DLC. It's like $6, I forget. But yeah, it's still in there. The man, this one's built from the ground up to support these new consoles, and I will tell you that holy shit, those X-ray kills just get gruesomer and gruesomer. Those games are still really good, and if you've got Game Pass, you should go play that game because it's very, very good. I played a little more Dolmen. I'm gonna write my review for that. That game is just not very good. Like, you want to talk about bad timing? You put out a Souls-like right around the time Elden Ring came out. Like, Elden Ring is right there. And Dolmen is $40. And maybe don't buy Dolman. It's not worth $40. And then I picked up and started playing Prey again because I never finished it. And I still like that game, but I do
Really good
have...
game.
What's that?
It's a really good game.
It's a really good game, but I have issues. So I have issues with the fact that, like, your ammo is so severely limited. And I'm not just talking about, like, survival horror limited. Like, some of the enemies in this game, like, I got hunted by the Nightmare for the first time.
Okay, so you want to know how you break that? You just go into a room that he can't walk through, and it ends.
It's kind of like Mr. X.
Well, no, because Mr. X, I mean, maybe in the original Resident Evil, but like the new Resident Evil, like there are very few places where he can't come in. You have to go to a save room. So, like in the main opening area of Prey, where the big elevator is, I ran into the Nightmare, and I'm like, all right. And I ran into a room and just ducked under a desk, and then I realized I'm sitting here, and then I just looked out the door. I'm like, oh yeah. He has to come up the stairs, and which is going to be hard for him, and then he's got to enter the door. He can't enter, watch the timer run out, and I'm just like, all right, that was it.
But even...
It's like, that kind of breaks it right there. You just move into a spot he can't fit, and it ends once the timer's gone. I'm like, that one kind of broke the immersion there.
Well, I think it's not just that, but also, like, this game has a really bad... habit of making you really backtrack a ton, like go 400 meters this way and then go 400 meters back. And the trip there and back, like there's no fast travel, and you're always going to constantly run into enemies, and not only just running into enemies, but running into enemies you can't fucking see, like the poltergeists. Like, and then your stamina is so bad if you don't upgrade it.
I remember when I started to be like, oh, I don't like the combat in this game was when I was in space and then you get to the telepaths.
The telepaths suck.
Are the worst fucking enemy. Everything else is just like, alright.
But like,
there's
so
ways
much
to deal with them.
So much of the
Are
stuff...
you taking upgrades from the alien tree?
Taking upgrades from the alien tree. So
yeah, if you're using alien upgrades...
That game gets a lot easier.
Hard. Well, I was gonna say it starts throwing more shit at you, but yeah.
So I did buy like where you pull the left trigger for the Psycho Blast, and it like has the AoE effect, and you can hit enemies with it. But like, I run out of psi stuff so fast. Like, and I'm not finding a ton of the upgrade pieces. What do they call them?
Are you making stuff?
Yeah. So, but you have to go. That's the other part of the game that kills me. Is like you have to find a fabricator, and then you have to keep traveling back to the fabricator, and you have a limited inventory. Like, this game does so much to make you travel constantly.
Well, the idea is that it's similar to the Fallout New Vegas. If you go in expecting to be able to do everything, you are going to be severely disappointed. You have to kind of realize, I want to do this, this, and this, and that is going to be this playthrough.
Yeah, but still, even that, I'm still constantly traveling to go do something.
I use the recyclers.
Yeah, but you still got to go to them.
Yes,
like that's just kind of annoying.
I use it as the base of like, all right, I'm gonna go as far as I can, collect as much shit that when I hit that end, I know go back, drop my shit in the recycler, and then head back out again. Because that way, I'm slowly ticking away at the area.
That's really exhausting after a while. Because, the story in that game is so interesting. Like, I ran into
I find it no different, though, than an open world game where I drive across. Like, it's the same reason why, I got tired of Spider-Man. So I understand it, but it's like...
But it's not as interesting to traverse, though. Like, your character moves so very slowly. Like, and the world is very much like, okay, well, here's this.
I disagree because there's always a little bit of tension because enemies do respawn eventually.
Yes, they do.
And there's plenty of things to find. So like, you know, a big portion of my problem with the Spider-Man game is like, it is fun to traverse, but eventually I've swung enough where I'm like, I just want to do the thing. Stop making me swing from one side of the map to the other to do stuff.
I know it's not the greatest solution, but you can kind of choose that game with like the foam gun.
Oh God. Yeah, you can get into areas where you should not be by using that foam gun, by using it.
You can also like just make a platform, and now the enemies can't reach you.
Sure, but what point does that serve other than just staying away from the enemies? Like I'm trying to go and do the things that I want to do, but I feel like the game is fighting me at every step of like, well, you want to go here, but you ain't got no guns. There ain't no fabricator on the way to this thing. Like, we're going to throw these 3 electric enemies at you that are just going to, like, constantly hurt you.
That's your
time.
sign. That's your sign. And I mean this in the best way possible. That's your sign. Do not go there yet.
Don't go there yet.
But that's where it's telling me to go.
That might be the mission that you're doing. That might be also your, like, hey, we understand that that's probably where you should go. Don't go there yet. Because, like, if you go into the medical bay in, like, the first area, you get murdered. Because you are definitely not ready for that shit.
I don't know. I just feel like the game is constantly fighting me about...
Because the game gives you a lot of freedom, but you will quickly learn, like, oh, freedom definitely has its downsides as I walk into this death trap. Like, you know, and then once you get the recycler grenades, a lot of shit becomes trivial.
Also, what's the point of like the objectives being able to, it's like, show me this on the map and it just tells you what fucking area it's in? Like, why even tell me you can show it to me on the map? Because you don't. Like, that's such a useless feature.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that game was easier to do just by looking at the target and going, yeah, it's in this area. Okay, so I just know where I'm supposed to go once you get, like, the guts open up.
I think one of the most frustrating things I ran into with that game is, like, I was trying to do some of the side stuff. I was trying to find the bodies of the people, like the survivors. And, like, it would tell me, like, here's this person because I looked them up on the computer, and it's like, they're here. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go there and get that person. But when I get there, it's like, no, you can't get in here. It's like, I just walked for 5 minutes for you to tell me I can't do this.
Yeah.
But like, there's multiple solutions to every problem.
Sure, but when you get there and you don't have that, like, for example, I could not lift this item because I didn't have an upgrade enough strength. So I'm like, okay, so I literally walked over here for no reason. And
yeah,
that's the
but
kind of stuff.
other people will have maybe put their neuromods into strength.
Sure, but I didn't. And the game didn't warn me of that. And it's like, I get it, it's an exploration game.
If it warned you, then it would, I suppose, just be telling you, like, then it becomes just Ubisoft game.
But sometimes
you know
I
mean?
like a little Ubisoft because I've wasted so much time in this game.
That's not what this game is, though. Like, I understand your point, and there are some flaws to this title. I'm not, like, defending it. Like, yes, that if an accessibility option would be nice on that.
Well, not only just that,
but I don't know.
Just giving me something to do in that area because I literally just walked all the way over there for nothing. Or, I got an idea. If you want to be kind of an open game, put a fucking fast travel system in your game. Like, it's not that hard.
You haven't unlocked it yet?
No, I don't have any kind of fast travel.
So, that is my biggest complaint. It takes fucking forever to do two things. There's 2 ways of fast travel, I guess you can put. Well, 3, I guess, if you consider the elevator fast travel. I don't.
The Ascent had this problem too. The Ascent didn't unlock fast travel for fucking ever.
So there's the internal fast travel called the Guts, which is like the maintenance ways throughout the station. That ends up being probably the fastest way through.
Wait, is that the stuff you actually have to traverse?
Sorry?
That's the stuff you actually have to float through space, right? like anti-gravity
Well,
stuff.
the guts is the anti-gravity part.
That's not fast travel.
That is absolutely fast travel in
That's a
comparison to other
quicker way
ways.
to get from point A to point B. But fast travel, I'm talking about pull up the map,
No.
go here. That's fast travel.
Well, then what? Then why would enemy like you? I disagree with that. I disagree with that on the level of like it. It has respawning enemies for a reason. They're asking you to be a little bit smarter with this game than like, you know, if the world was bigger, like I would say yeah, makes sense. But like it's not. It's like a pretty condensed space station. So like fast travel, like at that point you're dodging any sort of like risk reward to go somewhere.
But fighting the enemies is not really all that interesting. So if I skip them, I don't really care. I don't know. I just feel like the design of you wanting me to go back and forth between these two areas, you know, just put a fast travel on it, because otherwise I'm trudging through areas that don't really mean anything to me.
Are you collecting shit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I've already collected it on the way there. I don't need to collect it on the way back. Like I just feel like that's kind of, and not only that, but if I collect too much shit, Anthony, then my inventory's full. And I'm just like, well, now I got to travel to a recycling station, which is, oh, look, on the other side of the map, because there's not one in the area that I'm in. It's just a lot of unnecessary padding to me. I don't know. I like the game.
As I say, I don't know what to tell you, because it's like you. I don't know what you like about this title other than the story, which there is the easy mode. Like I don't know if you use that. Like I don't know if you picked up on your old save. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm using my old save, and I did bump the difficulty down, so I didn't care about the fighting.
Oh, you can? I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know
you can
if
do
you
that.
could
It's not that I don't care about dying. I care about wasting my time traversing back through these areas that I don't necessarily need to go back through. Like, there's so much wasted time in this game that is just not that interesting. And I think that's my biggest gripe about it.
I suppose that's just a matter of taste at that point. Like, there's certain parts where, yeah, like, if there was nothing in space, which is what I would have fucking preferred, to be honest with you. I hated, like, traveling around the space station, to only run into fucking the telepaths outside. But there are moments where you have to drift off to space. If it started, like, you know, if it was nice and it was like, yeah, well, once you have the airlocks open or whatever, fast travel that way. Maybe there is. I can't recall if that happens or not. But it's just like, I don't know. There's certain parts of it where it's like, things change over time in that station. And like, it starts introducing harder enemies in older areas. So they need you to kind of get familiar with the area. And if you're just kind of like jumping to points, you won't have that. So
I probably wouldn't care as much about the traversal if I knew where I was going. I could do what I needed to do. But making me walk all the way there, realizing I can't do it, having to walk all the way back is a giant waste of time for me.
I get it. I do, but like at the same time, like at that point, would the solution be like you need strength for this? Well, see, then again, it ruins any puzzle solving that you could do, because there's other ways. So there was something you had to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another way of solving that would be to have a recycler grenade and throw it, because that will remove the object. Because
okay.
What if
I don't have one of those either?
But what I'm saying to you, Ken, is that there's multiple ways out of most scenarios. So if it tells you something, it's ruining any sort of puzzle solving portion of the game, because like a lot of that stuff is solved through like, I have these tools, what can I do with them? And it's like, if it tells you that, because a part of me goes, yeah, if it told you that you needed strength, that makes sense. But then it's like, but then you're telling people what they need, and do they experiment off of that? Because when you get there, it tells you need strength. So, like, I feel like that should be enough. Like, I understand your complaint. I do. I'm trying to figure out a compromise. But, like, to me, it's like, as soon as you lean too much of this is how things are done, it drops the learning process of here's what things do. Because, like, some places you can get in through hacking. Some places you can also get in through, you know, when you can transform into objects, which might be another solution through that portion. Obviously, it requires another neuromod, but, like, that is the solution.
I feel like there's not nearly enough neuromods in that game. I have, like, 6 skill trees, and I think I've upgraded, like, maybe 1 or 2 things in each one.
You can eventually create them.
Yeah, I
only
can't
to
do
get
that
locked
yet.
out, and then have to unlock yourself out so you can create them again.
Yeah, there's just a lot of weird shit in that game that feels counterproductive to what it's trying to do, and I think that's my biggest issue with it.
Okay. I do understand, but, like, I don't want to sound like that. Yeah,
Drew,
Drew's
what the
gotta go.
fuck is wrong with you, Drew?
I have a life.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought this was America.
I thought this was America. Alright, well, Drew's leaving because he's tired of hearing us argue about Prey.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Sorry.
Get the fuck out of here, Drew. Go home.
All right, I'm going.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyways, you're wrong and you should die. That's what I was saying. I apologize. I'll type that out on Twitter to make it legit. I don't know. I don't want to sound like somebody, like, you know, the Dark Souls people that are like, it can't be made easier. Like, I understand your complaint, and I do, and I'm like, if there was some way of not compromising on the, like, would it maybe the easier difficulties should be giving that info out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm not worried about dying. Like, it's very hard
the-
for an enemy to kill me on the easy difficulty. Because I realized as I was playing this, I'm like, the combat is not interesting enough for me to care about that.
I almost wonder if, like, a hint system, or even like what Silent Hill does, right? Where, like, it would give you the option of, like, combat difficulty and puzzle difficulty. Like, maybe that is something that would be a better solution. I don't know. I feel like part of it is necessity to later parts of the game, and other parts are like, yeah, there has to be, like, there always has to be some sort of compromise, like, available. I'm okay with what they made. I think the problem is, though, that game, the same thing that Fallout New Vegas should have done. It should have been like, you're going to be running, like, make this game as short as possible. If you try to do everything in one go, you're going to have a bad fucking time. Because, you know, through then multiple runs, you would learn the space station. So, like, when I started it up again, and I have to go back to it, I was doing just a human mod run. So I was taking none of the alien neuromods, because I was like, no, that I want to lock myself out of that, and I'm only going to take human options. But that's a player choice, and, like, you should inspire that choice, because New Vegas did the same thing. It kind of throws you in, and then you sort of find out, like, oh, I lock myself out of certain content. Make that up front. Be like, yeah, like, what you choose will lock you out of content. Choose wisely.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's certain things, like, with all those games, like Deus Ex has an excuse because it's kind of the first of that game, that's that type of game, right? Where it's like your skills and affect how you have to move through the levels. Yeah, I don't know. I love Prey. I think it's a great game. I kind of want more of it, even though I really want just Prey 2 based off of the old 360 game. But it was still good, and, like, yeah, it definitely can be improved. I don't fully, as a personal thing, I don't fully agree with you, but at the same time, it's like, I don't also think that there can't be compromise. So.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to continue kind of, bang my head
You'll
against
never
it
like
for
the
a while.
DLC.
I hated the DLC. The Moon Crash,
Yeah.
hated it.
Yeah, because it's a roguelike.
Yeah, it's no thank you. That is not my jam. But the actual game itself, I'm enjoying. I just have a lot of frustrations with it. And I think that's it. Unless you want me to talk about Overwatch for a while, I can do that.
I don't know. I mean, did anything change in Overwatch?
I got all 3 of my.
No, I mean like big.
No,
big
that
things,
game's not. No, that game is done until Overwatch 2, which people got to play that beta for like a month, and now they're all pissed because they have to go back to the original because that beta was apparently really what that game needs. There's a huge injection into it, and now everybody has to go back and play this old one that they don't like, which is a reason why I'm happy I didn't play the beta because I probably would be pissed if I had to go back. So I think I'm okay waiting, just knowing that it's good.
It's that different, huh?
Yeah, it's now 5v5 and tanks are very different and like they really reworked like 3 or 4 characters and it's just like, all right. You got a new mode.
I'm glad it might be as much as I shit on you liking Overwatch. I don't want any game to die. Like people enjoy it. I'm glad that it's going to be the shot in the arm. It sounds like it's going to be the shot in the arm that the game needs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it, but I don't want to play it and then have to go back.
I hope they give the diversity chart on the character select screen. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's not.
I'll never get over that because it's just such a weird.
It's a very Activision thing to do, though.
Yeah, just hire diverse people and then make diverse characters because they want to, self-insert, which isn't always a terrible thing beyond popular belief. What a weird, unnecessary corporate thing to do.
Well, hopefully, if the Microsoft deal goes through, that Activision turns into a better company. That's what we can hope.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, when I was talking about it, that's the reason why, the Wonder Boy collection and my disappointment with that was the reason why I'm kind of excited that, the Square Enix selling IDOS stuff to Embracer Group. Embracer Group has shown that they are willing to put effort into bringing old games back, even if it's just to reissue them and never do anything else with them. They put the effort in, and that's a world of difference. And the Blob, really? Did anybody go? Yeah, that's the series that needs a boost. I like the Blob. I'm probably one of the biggest fans of the Blob, but
nobody.
I'm still shocked. Yeah, nobody needed the Blob. So
all right. Let's move on to the releases for the week. Kick in Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. We've got SnowRunner, Gravatar Recharged, Soldiers, spelled S-O-U-L. That's clever. Soldiers, get it? Surface Rush, and Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer's Legacy. That's funny because I just played not Unexplored. Is it Unexplored? Yeah, Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer's Legacy. PS5, anything different? Silt, which is that underwater game that was shown at that indie showcase.
And, first of all, Soldiers looks beautiful. The artwork is spectacular. I'm dumbfounded on how good the sprite work is. What do you think it is?
Side-scrolling shooter.
No.
Okay.
Fight for your freedom in a sprawling fantasy world caught between the living and the fallen. Hone your skills in a retro epic featuring puzzle platforming, Metroidvania exploration, and crunchy Souls-like combat. Buzzwords!
Ugh. No, thank you.
I'll still probably end up playing it because it looks fucking amazing.
I'm almost at the point where I don't want to play Metroidvanias anymore. People throw that word around, and most of the time it is not correct.
A Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Dead Souls.
Yeah, no.
What's the game I'm thinking of? Rogue Legacy 2 and Rogue Legacy weren't really Metroidvanias.
No. All right. PlayStation 4, Xbox One. We've got Rainbow Billy, The Curse of the Leviathan. Silt. Our Arcade Archives, The Tower of Druaga. Behind the Frame, The Finest Scenery. Gigapocalypse. The Wonder Boy Collection. Gravatar Recharge, Soldiers, and Surface Rush also here. Xbox One, anything different?
Just buy the Wonder Boy collection on the old one on Xbox 360. Please save your money.
Xbox is also getting the Super Perils of Baking. Whatever that is. The Nintendo Switch. Oh, we actually need to click in now. Nintendo Switch is Buck Bradley 2, Toon Cars Racing, Equestrian Training, Death Run TV, Floofy's Adventure, Pinku Cult Hex Mortis, Samurai Riot Definitive Edition, The Big Con Grift of the Year Edition.
I need to play that still. Do you know who does the theme song?
No.
Rockapella.
Alright.
It's the the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego guys?
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't know that. Sorry.
Oh, they they do the theme song to The Big Con.
That's funny.
The Big Con. What you gonna?
I mean, that sounds like
it's so good. And
shit.
I need to play that game. I have it on Steam. I've been meaning to play it. Also, Super Perils of Baking is apparently a remake of an old game called Perils of Baking that was like a platformer on the PC or whatever. And it looks like a pretty generic platformer, but like it's got some colorful art design.
It's crazy how many games come out in a week that are forgotten the day they come out. Card Shark. That's a Devolver
game,
play that. I think.
Yeah. I need to play the demo still before I decide if I'm going to pick it up.
A lot of the same stuff we already talked about, but we're also getting Lamplight City, Ocean Animals Puzzle, preschool animal learning puzzles game for kids and toddlers, Pretty Girl Speed, Cubite Classics Gym Power The Lost Dimension, Tokyo The Tower of Perpetuity, Elemental's Death Metal Death Match. Say that 3 times fast.
Death.
Night Out, Moonrise Fall, and 10.
Lamplight City is a point-and-click adventure. And Card Shark is a game about cheating in cards. That's all I know about it. Looks interesting.
All right, the news this week, there's a couple big stories, but most of them are just quick headlines. The first up, we have The Quarry, the new Supermassive game, is still on track to release, but they have announced that the multiplayer will be delayed until July 8th.
The last game fell apart in multiplayer.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks, though, because I think I've played every Supermassive game minus Until Dawn in multiplayer. So, new Nintendo Switch Online games. We got 2 Super Nintendo and 1 NES game this week. The NES game is straight up black box pinball, son. So, there you go.
It definitely looks like a pinball game. Definitely does not play like one.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking NES pinball. We also got Jalico's classic Rival Turf and Data East's Congo's Caper. So those are your new games for Nintendo Switch Online. God of War Ragnarok was rated in South Korea, which lends to the fact that it's still coming out this year. I guess we will find out soon. A new Destroy All Humans game was leaked by the Xbox Store. It is a multiplayer-focused game called Clone Carnage.
Enough with the multiplayer-focused shit.
The most important headline of the week, the Callisto Protocol no longer takes place in the PUBG universe. Exciting.
There's a surprise.
DC Universe Online developer was apparently in production of a Marvel MMO that has now been canceled, so that is no longer coming out. Star Wars Celebration, Jedi Survivor was officially announced. It is in 2023, and it is next-gen only, so it's coming to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. Apparently takes place 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order. So, also from the Star Wars Celebration, KOTOR 2 is coming to the Switch. Now, normally this wouldn't be a big deal, but they're adding in the cut content from the original game.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that actually got me excited to pick it up.
Dear In. Look at that shit. Where the fuck are you?
Skullgirls is finally coming to Xbox this year.
I don't know who even does that game anymore.
I don't know, but
the original studio closed.
Yeah, sexual harassment issues, I believe, right?
Or something like that. Shitty mismanagement, yelling at staff, something.
Yeah.
Something not good. And then he fired everybody. I don't know. It's a mess. But I know that the mobile company that was doing the mobile port had rights to it, so they could keep updating that version. So I don't know if that version's just become the version now that everybody plays. I don't know.
Well, they did the second something, kind of like a reboot of the first game with a bunch of added stuff, and it's been on Switch, PC, and PlayStation for a while, but they announced it's coming to Xbox later this year. Alongside the My Little Pony fighting game, Them's Fightin' Her is making its console debut this fall as well. So, boy.
Have you seen that they redesigned My Little Pony?
Yeah, there's a game that came out this week, I think.
It's kind of like, boy.
Yeah. My Little
the
Pony.
old design, the Friendship as Magic designs really were far more appealing than whatever the fuck I was looking at that.
Yeah, there's a new game out this week called My Little Pony: A Maritime Bay Adventure.
And you didn't offer me that for review.
We didn't get it. You know, not that I put in a request for it or anything, but you know. Boy, Microsoft is not having a good time right now. So there was a book that was released this past week. I think it was called like The History of Video Games, something like that. In that book, it is claimed that Xbox passed on both the Marvel and the KOTOR remake licenses. Like they just said, no, we don't want them. They were offered them and turned them down. Like, how?
Big brain strats, everybody.
Like, how do you?
I could maybe see the KOTOR remake.
But yeah, turning down the Marvel license.
Like, when was this?
This was back when Sony got the Spider-Man rights.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I have to assume that was done during the Don Matrick years.
You would think.
Well, because the Spider-Man stuff came around because
right.
Yeah, so the dealing had to be done before that, and I want to say that it was like around the PS4 launch when Tom Holland started showing up in the Avengers, right? Because I think part of that deal was like, we want Spider-Man back. You can make all your weird Spider-Man external shit. And you can make Spider-Man video games. I want to say that was part of the deal. It was like a weird agreement that they had entered into.
Licensing is such a weird fucking thing.
Oh, fucking licensing is a nightmare. And like, it's only going to get worse because everybody's selling off catalogs of content just for licensing.
Yeah.
So like, not that it matters to anybody listening to this podcast, but Justin Timberlake just sold his music catalog for a lot of money. And like, his music isn't really worth anything because like, and I'll explain the reason why I say that. Like, most people don't buy music, right? They sign into a subscription service, and it's pennies. It's not for Justin Timberlake. It's still only pennies. It's not dollars in terms of the amount of streams. Like, it racks up, sure, but like it's not where the money's coming from. He sells it off of merch and stuff, performing, but he also acts. So a lot of money comes from different places. The reason why they want his catalog is for licensing in movies and TV and everything, because that's where the money comes from. So you're seeing a lot of these companies just selling off all the licensing, or selling off their stuff, because the person that's buying it wants to pay that money up front because they think it's going to be worth something to license to other people.
Yeah.
It's a weird world we live in, and it's just getting worse all the time.
The Lando Calrissian gif of this deal keeps getting worse all the time. More Xbox news. They actually confirmed this to Windows Central, that they are working on a streaming stick for Xbox Game Pass Cloud called Keystone. So maybe we see
a good
that.
thing to announce.
Yeah, maybe we see that in a couple weeks at the Xbox Showcase. Who knows? Lots of this is Sony news. Okay, so Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary website has gone live. So maybe we see Dragon's Dogma 2. You know? We've only been talking about it for 10 years. Alright, everything else I have is PlayStation news, so let's start kicking these off. PlayStation VR, rumored to be launching this fall, and rumored to launch with about 20 titles. There's also a Sony State of Play this week, June 2nd, and they will be focusing on some of the PSVR stuff. Returnal is the next rumored game coming to the PC from Sony's first-party library. And Sony has also said that they wanted to up their PC releases for their IP. So they actually expect to pull in about $300 million in PC sales in fiscal year 2022. And so far, the only game released is God of War, with Uncharted on the horizon. So the question is, what other games are coming to PC this year from the Sony stable of video games?
Work on making a wrapper of some sort for your old PS3 game so I can play Ratchet and Clank on my PC. Thanks.
Well, let's talk about PlayStation 3 games. So Sony has confirmed that PlayStation PP PS3 games will not support DLC.
Wow, thanks for this nothing. Astro's Wrath is available. It's incomplete. Cool.
Yeah, so in response to this, I don't know if you saw this story, but one of the Xbox engineers said that all Xbox Cloud games are built with the DLC into them, so if you own it, you just get access to it. So I thought that was a funny little jab, considering...
I mean, this whole fucking thing just...
Oh, we got more to talk about with the PlayStation PP. So we'll start with PlayStation PP launched in Asia this week, so we had a lot of coverage of it, but one of the things that cropped up early on was that they were, like, people who had got a discount on their PlayStation Plus, Sony was trying to charge for it. Now, they did walk this back, they did fix it, that people are not going to be charged more, but it was still an interesting thing of, like, was this on purpose, and did they think people would notice, or was it really, like, an error? Who knows? Probably not the worst part about this, though, is those games finally got out, and a bunch of people did some taking a look at them, and Sony, baby, what are you doing? You're putting the PAL version of these games on the service?
Oh no, it gets worse. Have you seen what they've done?
So they did a fix, and apparently that is now causing ghosting issues with the frame rate.
So they did a fix, and instead of just giving you a game that runs at 60, they decided, oh, we'll just take the 50 frames, stretch them out to 60.
Yeah, no, nothing will go wrong with that.
What the fuck? You guys make televisions!
I don't know, man.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
PlayStation does not treat their back catalog with any amount of
I've seen
reverence.
some people go, this is just Jim Ryan making it as terrible of an experience as possible just so he can say, see? Told you they weren't worth playing.
Oh my god. Alright, last story I got is, do you feel like PlayStation is kind of like becoming what Xbox said it was going to be back when the Xbox One launched? Because Sony's announced 3 more TV things now. So,
I don't know, man.
this is weird. So Sony announced there's new TV shows for Horizon, which will be on Netflix. God of War, which will be on Amazon. And finally, Sony is apparently shopping a Gran Turismo movie?
They're gonna just take the intro sequence from Gran Turismo and put it up on Solo.
I mean, that thing is
Fuck.
pretty long.
I'm so fucking tired of this. I don't want to see this shit in movies. It doesn't work out.
It's so funny to me.
Like, Sonic is a cartoon character. That's why it works. Like, who's gonna play Kratos? Really? Exactly.
I don't know.
Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe. But, like, look at Halo.
I've been
That's
trying
a
to
monkey's
watch
paw.
it.
That's a monkey's paw that everybody wishes the ring didn't, or the finger didn't curl. Oh,
I've been trying to watch it, and it's fine, but, like, it's not all that interesting because, like, it's like, I don't know.
why did, like, he had to take his helmet off. We had
I mean,
to do
his
it.
helmet's off most of the show.
I know. It's killing me, apparently.
It's whatever.
Ugh.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
it's
ahead.
just not very good.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and read these emails. I don't know how it's continuously just us on the show when we get to these emails because nobody wants to show up.
Have you met us? That's why.
Yeah, we don't have a life according to Drew because he has a life, So, Daryl writes in and says, "Hello all. My name is Daryl, not Blue Skies. Sorry, that was what the email said when it came to me. Anyway, in response to my email about the Embracer Group, my point wasn't really about a foreign company taking over, but rather the hypocritical stance of the U.S. over MS buying Activision. Maybe they have no say in the Embracer purchase, but that seems like small compared to Embracer's purchase. By the way, yes, I'm happy now as we may get a remaster of the first Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, and not that Soul Reaver crap. Yes, it's a bad game, popular because of the time and place. Thanks." Oh, snap. Soul Reaver is not a bad game. What is wrong?
I mean, I don't know. I look at it and it's like, who is buying? I mean, in a perfect world, IDOS would have been its own company still. But here we are. So
I don't know. Soul Reaver is a good video game. I will stand by that. All right, Eeyore Kara's email for the 700 show. Again, sorry nobody's here. Don't yell at me. I've been here. So, boys happy.
yell at me. Yeah, I was gonna say yell at me. I have been here, and I'm sorry.
Boys, happy 700 show. What an incredible achievement. Well done on reaching this amazing milestone. Your friendship, your love of video games, and your dedication is second to none. Past and present, well done to all of you. Thank you for this great podcast and your friendship. So many years have gone by, so many changes to everyone's lives over the years, so many memories and events, life's up and downs. The podcast has always been great. You are all great. Thank you and well done. So I finally got around to installing a 2 terabyte drive for my PS5, found it fairly easy to install. I'm now ready for the new PS Plus service. That list of games is not bad and a good start. I'm looking forward to the full list. I really do hope it includes Ridge Racer 7. The PS3 launch title, that game was awesome. The MotorStorm series, I'm really hoping for PS1's Loaded and Sledstorm, and for the PSP, one of my all-time favorites, Lumines, Burnout Legends, Pursuit Force, and so many others. Anyhow, as a PS5 console-only owner, I'm looking forward to the new PS Plus service. I'm a Minecraft guy. I have 2 maps, a creative one and a survival one. Both of them are about 8 years of work. My daughter recently launched my creative map and started messing around with it, adding blocks and destroying blocks. My design's my work. It hurts, but she's having a good time. Haha, it is what it is. Recently, I got back into Pokemon Go. I'm quite surprised of how many updates have been made to the game. It's very addictive. I love it. Anyhow, take care. Happy 700th. If I may, leave some information to share. You only live once. Do what makes you happy and watch porn. Almost made it.
As he was talking about, like, you guys are great friends, all I could like, do you know the song Graduation from Vitamin C?
No, I don't.
As we go on, we remember.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
all I could hear in my head. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that makes me want to kill myself.
Well, that's not very nice. You shouldn't do that. Alright, I got a couple tweets here. Shogun says, been a while since I wrote in. The world has gone crazy. Tell me about it.
Yeah, no shit.
And the way I've been coping with it is to get lost in Cyberpunk. I did everything Nomad, but I understand Starfield getting delayed was disappointing, but my backlog needs this time to catch up. My current backlog, lineup: Guardians of the Galaxy, Chorus, Judgment, A Plague Tale, Tunic, Trek to Yomi. Most of these games are on Game Pass, and since gaming news sites needed to create a story, Game Pass burnout is not real for me. Also, hug your kids, love your family.
We ever talk about that? Because I guess that kind of, you had mentioned earlier that a bunch of people were like talking about how they were canceling Game Pass, and then I think the article came out after. Like
Yeah,
Monday
so
or
it
whatever,
was
where a bunch of
literally
people-
like 2 people that tweeted about it. Now, granted, those 2 people have big followings, and they've always been big proponents of Game Pass. So it was kind of like, holy shit. But yeah, then the article came out saying Game Pass burnout was a thing, and then Xbox Game Pass tweeted at them, and it just became this whole big nonsense story. Like, yes, Game Pass is going to miss out on some things because of not having these 2 games. And yes, Microsoft needs to get up off their ass and start putting some games out there. Like, that nobody's denying any part of that.
But to imply that there's nothing on there, like, alright, just tell people that you don't like indie games. Like,
Well, that was the
No.
Xbox Game Pass tweet. Was like, tell me you don't like indie games, but by not saying, I forget what the exact tweet was, but it was in that same vein. So,
I understand to some extent. It's a I don't remember the turn of phrase. Abundance of riches.
I mean, yeah.
It's you got too many choices and not infinite amount of time. And
Choice paralysis is what it is.
yeah, so I do understand it. However, like, to say that make a big thing about you canceling, like, first of all, I don't care.
No,
Like,
I really don't care.
I
if
realize I'm
somebody-
on a podcast and I have to talk about video games. Like, most people probably go, we don't care. I totally understand. But to put out a tweet like it's a press release.
I don't think they put it out. Like, I know the person who did it. Like, actually, I know both people that did it. And I don't think there was anything.
No, but it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay. Like, are you going to tell us when you cancel Netflix? You know what I mean?
A lot of people did.
Oh.
And truthfully, I didn't care then, but then again, nobody else cared either, so.
Anyways, it's just, I don't know. It's such a nothing event.
I
Made
canceled
into a bigger
Discovery
thing.
Plus a couple weeks ago. Do you care about that?
No. I didn't even know that was a thing.
My son was mad because he likes to watch Mythbusters, but nobody else was
Well,
watching.
here's
it,
a fucking
so-
microwave. Go microwave shit outside. You reenact Mythbusters, bud.
The only problem I have with the stories is that I would be shocked if the 2 people that's tweeted saying, I'm canceling Game Pass, didn't have that shit stacked up for like 2 years like most of us do. And like, how do you cancel something that's just stacked? Like, you know, my Game Pass.
Yeah, I
subscription
think I still pay. I think I've hit my point where it.
You're actually paying for it now.
Yeah.
Mine is in August of 2023 right now.
Good fucking God.
And that's a shorter one. Like, there are some people out there that's got it up through like 2025 and shit. So I don't know. I just Game Pass is good enough for $15 a month. Like, what was it? I played Pac-Man Museum this week and something else, and like just those two games alone were worth the $15 for the month. You know?
Right. And that's
So-
like, you know, I don't buy a lot of video games anymore, so it's like, yep, it showed up, cool.
Yeah, like a
I'll play
game
it.
will show up on Game Pass, and I'll be like, well, I'll try that, and if it sucks, like, all I do is just delete it. It's not that big a deal. So,
You know, maybe eventually, like, Tunic leaves, I'll buy Tunic somewhere else, you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I played it. But if I don't ever play it again, I'm also fine with that.
that's
I
what
got
I
my
did
money's
with,
worth.
like, Streets of Rage. Like, I was, like, it was leaving Game Pass, and I was like, oh, I get a, 10% discount or something, so I just bought it. And, you know, I don't know. Well, that stuff's, it is what it is. Not to mention it's got Xbox Live built in, which I have to have because I play Overwatch. So, you know, whatever.
It was a weird thing to see.
It was.
I
don't know.
I canceled PlayStation Plus a long time ago. Where's my article?
You gotta have more Twitter followers.
No.
You get an article about yourself.
I haven't told enough people to fuck themselves, apparently.
That's true. You need to do more of that. All right. We're gonna wrap this up because I got a package about to be dropped off, and I'm stoked about it. So yeah, if you want to tweet at us, it's at N4G Podcast. You want to email us, it's podcast@ztgd.com. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at ZTGD. Anthony's at Complacent Robot. Drew is at DML Fury. And the site is at ZTGD Content. Phoenix Down is running AI the Somnium files, even if Drew can't pronounce it.
And then when we have our first
oh god,
we're playing Agony.
you all brought this on yourself. I warned you. There is evidence
Oh, you hyped it up, Ken.
of me warning you multiple times.
You hyped it up.
Nope, this is all on you.
I don't agree with that. I
But-
remember you telling us that it was the worst thing ever, and I was like, well, shit, I have to experience this.
No. I will accept all of your apologies on the next episode.
No, not at all.
Because you all spent $1 on what might be
More
one
like,
of the worst things ever.
You'll
created.
accept, yeah, I'll demand your apology when it's the best game ever.
Okay. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk. But anyway, that's the show for this week. Unless you have anything else, we'll get out of here.
Peace out, bitches.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast. Zero tolerance.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
GathersCon.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
always
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.